You're a drone pilot with a pulse. You've seen the forum posts, the onslaught of YouTube videos, and have even picked up on the quiet whispers. You're hearing that pilot pay is taking a nosedive. In fact, a lot of people are saying the gold rush is over. They say the market is flooded, and the only way for wages to go is down. What say you? Is drone pilot pay in decline, or is it just suffering a temporary setback? Well, it just so happens I have a drone business expansion strategy, which is our focus inside this edition of Drone Pilot MBA. Thanks for joining us. If you've been around for a while, you've probably noticed the chatter. Pilots are sharing stories, videos are popping up, conversations in the community. The common thread? Drone pilot pay isn't what it used to be. Some are even saying the rush is slowed, the space is overcrowded, and making a steady living feels tougher than ever before. You see all the brand new pilots getting their Part 107 certificates, hitting the market, and then driving down what clients will pay for basic jobs. It feels like a race to the bottom. You know that dream of making a real honest living by flying drones? It feels like it's slipping away. But what if that's only half the story? What if this quiet spell in the market isn't a long-term decline at all, but in reality, a calm period right before a massive pay surge that will completely reshape the drone industry at large? In this drone pilot strategy session, we're taking a look at the real data and talking about why the sky is falling narrative is missing the big picture, and how you can get yourself in the perfect position for the boom that's just over the horizon. Look, we need to be real here. The fear isn't just coming out of nowhere. As a drone pilot, you probably felt the pinch. You jumped into the field with a passion for flying, hoping to turn it into a solid career. But lately, you browse freelance sites and you see people bidding on real estate gigs for barely enough to cover your gas and time. I mean, you hear stories too from other pilots who are finding it tough to lock down consistent, well-paying work. I know, it's discouraging. And this feeling is rooted, though, in a very real trend. That trend is the commoditization of low-skilled drone work. Commoditization happens when a product or service loses what makes it special and becomes like other similar options. When this occurs, customers don't see much difference between providers, so price becomes the main way to choose. With hundreds of thousands of certified pilots in the U.S. now, the barrier to entry for simple aerial photos and videos is the lowest it's ever been. And for those clients who just want a basic aerial shot of a house, there are tons of pilots willing to do it for dirt cheap. And that has jammed up the entry level, where competition is fierce and pay feels like it's stuck in a tree. Some sources show realistic starting salaries in the $35,000 to $50,000 range. I mean, it's easy to look at this part of the market and think the whole industry is in the tub. But that's like looking at a puddle and thinking you know the ocean. The real story, the one with billions of dollars of investment behind it, That's now materializing, and it's just over the rainbow. Here's where people get things twisted. They think the job of a drone pilot in 2025 is exactly the same as it was 5 years ago. No, it's not. The industry isn't shrinking, it's growing. And when an industry matures, what happens? It specializes. The jobs that are actually getting price squeezed right now are the general low skill tasks. But on the flip side, a whole new world of high skill, high paying careers is building up. The conversation is shifting from just flying the drone to what to do with the data it collects. Now, the pilot of tomorrow isn't just a stick and rudder operator. They are a data acquisition specialist, a mission manager, and a technical pro. Now, while some are moving into the fetal position, all worried about that AI is going to automate the way drone pilots work and it's going to make pilots obsolete, the truth is that AI is creating demand for a different kind of pilot, one who manages autonomous systems, makes sense of complex data from high-tech sensors, and then can plug this technology into major industrial operations. Think of it like this. The calculator didn't get rid of mathematicians. It just freed them up from boring arithmetic to solve much bigger problems. In the same way, AI-powered flight systems are freeing pilots from the basic task of keeping a drone steady so they can focus on mission-critical work that earns a much higher salary. So what we then have is more pilots moving out of the cockpit and into the command center. And that's a very valuable position for a drone service operator to be in the very near future. This isn't just wishful thinking. The raw numbers tell a true story of a massive surge on the way. Let's break down the three big reasons for this boom. First, the sheer scale of market growth. That's mind-blowing. The total global drone market, including commercial, consumer, and military, was valued at around $73 billion in the run-up to 2025. Projections show it rocketing to over $163 billion by 2030. Focusing just on the commercial drone market, it was valued at around $30 billion at the start of this year and is expected to hit nearly $94 billion by 2033. And this isn't just about selling more drones. It's more about the tidal wave of investment from industries like energy, construction, agriculture, logistics, as they bake drone technology into their daily operations. That massive growth means a huge demand for skilled aerial pros to run the show. Second, technology is what's driving up salaries. The drones used for high-value jobs aren't your standard off-the-shelf models. We're talking about aircraft carrying LiDAR for making hyper-accurate 3D models, thermal cameras for inspecting power plants, and multispectral sensors for checking crop health. Knowing how to operate these systems, and more importantly, understanding the data captured, is a high-value specialized skill. A drone pilot running a LiDAR survey for an engineering firm, we're not just getting paid to fly, we're getting paid for our expertise in geospatial data. These are the jobs where salaries aren't just holding steady, they're climbing rapidly. It's in these skilled roles that average salaries reported by platforms like ZipRecruiter and Glassdoor are hitting an impressive $130,000 a year. Third, and this is most crucial, is the specialization of the gold rush. This is where the big money is. While a freelance real estate shoot might net you a couple $100, a full-time pilot specializing in industrial inspections can pull in a six-figure salary. Data is clear. Drone operators in aerospace and defense, they can earn over $200,000 a year in some highly specialized roles. LiDAR mapping specialists command salaries from $90,000 to $120,000. Even in fields like agriculture and construction, they're seeing salaries from $70,000 to $95,000 as they become workflow essentials. The more complex the mission, the higher the stakes, the more you're worth. Flying a drone to inspect a multi-million-dollar wind turbine or critical power line demands a level of skill and trust that companies will pay a premium for again and again. Before we move into the final section of this strategy session, let me ask you, which of these specialized fields gets you the most pumped up, most excited? Is it the pinpoint accuracy of mapping, the vital work in public safety, or maybe the high-tech world of infrastructure inspection? Drop a comment below. I'm really curious to see where you think the best opportunities are and why. Knowing the boom is coming, well, that's one thing. Being ready to fly in the jet stream is something entirely different. If you want to be on the right side of this paradigm shift, you have to be both on purpose and strategic. Now, here are three most important things you can do right now. First, upskill beyond the sticks. Your Part 107 certificate is the starting line, not the finishing line. The future of high-paying drone work is all about data. That means you need to learn the software and techniques that turn raw aerial data into something a business can actually use. Start learning photogrammetry and 3D modeling with software like Pix4D. Get a certification in thermal imaging and do energy audits or solar farm inspections. Dive into the wonderful world of LiDAR and see how it's revolutionizing construction and surveying. The more skills you can stack on top of your flying ability, the more essential you're going to become. Your value isn't just in flying the drone, it's in delivering the final data and product that the client needs. Second, don't be vanilla. You've got to specialize. The days of being a drone specialist are fading. The pilots who will earn the top salaries are the ones who become the go-to experts in a specific high-demand niche. Pick an industry that genuinely interests you. Agriculture, construction, public safety, energy, and go all in. Learn to speak their language, understand their biggest headaches, and figure out their goals, solve their problems, and satisfy their needs. Be sure to network and get to know the pros and decision makers in that field. When a company in that industry does need a drone expert, you want to be the first person they think of because you don't just fly drones, you understand their business. This is how you go from being a contractor to a consultant, and your pay will show it. And finally, become a master of regulations. The rule book is always changing, and those changes are creating new opportunities. Understanding how to apply for waivers for special operations or learning the framework of BVLOS, beyond visual line of sight, flights can give you a huge leg up on the competition. As the FAA keeps building out the rules for things like drone delivery and urban air mobility, the pilots who understand the legal side will be the ones leading the charge and landing the most profitable contracts. So stay informed, stay compliant, and stay ahead of the game. All right, here's your takeaway. Let me ask you, is drone pilot paying decline? Well, for those competing at the bottom of the market for simple gigs, it might feel that way, but the industry as a whole, absolutely not. It's a temporary setback for some, and more accurately, a fundamental market shift. It's the quiet before the storm. The low-level market is crowded, but the high-skill specialized market is just getting warmed up, and it's ready for explosive growth. And we've looked at the evidence. We looked at the commercial market projections to grow to nearly $94 billion. The rise of new high-paying jobs driven by advanced tech. And we looked at the six-figure salary potential in specialized fields. So it looks like the story of a widespread decline is a myth, born from a misunderstanding of how this industry is evolving. The future for drone pilots isn't just bright. It's incredibly lucrative for anyone willing to adapt and specialize. The demand for true drone professionals, the data experts, the industry specialists, the mission managers is about to fly high. And the only question is, will you be ready for it? If you found this breakdown helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe for more drone business strategies. And now for my final question to you. What is the single biggest step you're going to take this year to upskill and get ready for this boom? Share your plan in the comments below. Let's build a community of pilots who are ready for what's next. I also invite you to study my other videos and articles. There are over 500 free resources waiting for you at Aerial Northwest. To read the whole article, Drone Pilot Pay, a Decline or a Temporary Setback, click on the link in the show liner notes below. Thanks a million for joining me for this edition of Drone Pilot MBA. I wish you all green lights. I'll see you next time. Much love, respect, and keep on droning. If you have any questions, let us know. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you'd like to hire us, you can get more information by visiting aerialnorthwest.com. Be smart, safe, and fly responsibly.